Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, May the 5th. Welcome to the stream. Alright, I think the only thing on most of y'all's minds is the dual credit stuff. So yesterday y'all took the final exam. You had until 11:59 last night. I haven't put any of the grades in yet. I'll be doing that basically as soon as the stream is over. A couple of email questions I got. I should have addressed all of you individually, but here I guess I'll just kind of run through the final real quick because nobody had an extension on it, so it's pretty safe to talk about it. As this is loading, one question that I got from multiple people was, what happens if my final exam is lower than any of my test grades, which did happen to some people. In that case, the final still gets put in as a final, but it doesn't replace any of your test grades. So it's still, I mean, you have to have a final exam grade. It's 25% of your average, but you won't get that additional bonus of it. Oh wait, I'm not going to be able to click it here. Okay. Oh no, incomplete. And I'm not going to work every single problem today, but I mean, if you want me to, if you're curious about it, I'll be more than happy to do it individually with y'all. But I'm just gonna flip through this real quick, and I'll just show the completed problem with everyone. Okay, so for this one, and oh, I guess it's scrambled. Should I do? Oh, whatever. Okay, you'll see it eventually in the video, right? As I flip through one, you can pause the video if you would like. Okay, so secant, cosecant, sine plus cosine. So right here, it all reduces down to 1, obviously. The first step you should have done probably is change all of these to sines and cosines. When this distributes out, the cosecant and sine cancel and the secant and cosine cancel. So you just end up with the same thing over itself. This is just a right triangle problem. So you've got the hypotenuse, you've got the angle, you want the opposite side. So you should have used sine here. So set up sine of the angle equals opposite over hypotenuse. This exact value is just two things off the unit circle. So sine of pi over 4 is square root of 2 over 2. Cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. And you just combine them and put them in the same fraction because they already have a common denominator. Okay. Solve the triangle. So you have b and b, so you should have started this with law of sines. Your first piece of information is angle C, and it turns out that it's an ambiguous case. It does work out, so you have two different triangles possible in this problem. Find the area. This is Heron's formula. So find the semi-perimeter and then do k equals square root of s times s minus a times s minus b times s minus c. Cosine negative 75, you just needed two numbers that added or subtracted to negative 75. You could have used 45 minus 120, for example, and use the cosine subtraction formula, or cosine addition, whatever. Same thing here, tangent subtraction formula. So tangent pi over 4 minus tangent pi over 3 all over 1 minus, or 1 plus tangent pi over 4 times tangent pi over 3. Another identity problem. So you had to pick the correct one that had the right steps. So, I mean, just follow the one that had the correct identities substituted in, right? You could tell the second one's wrong because they replaced secant with 1 over sine. And then let's see, where is this one wrong? Yeah, so this is the wrong second step here in this one when you do the common denominator part. Solve the triangle, so you don't have any angles, so you have to use law of cosines to find an angle. You just saw that one on exam 3. This one, just have the correct amplitude, period, and phase shift. Remember, period is 2 pi over b. That b right there. That one right there. So 2 pi over 8 would give you a pi over 4 period, and that's the trickiest part of this problem. Find cosecant, secant, and cotangent if you have a point at negative square root of 2 comma square root of 6, which would be over in quadrant 2. So you just label the triangle, do Pythagorean theorem, and then cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Alright, convert the given polar to rectangular, so x equals r cosine theta, y equals r sine theta. And again, 60 degrees, so you should have been able to look that up on your unit circle. Magnitude of 3u minus 2v, you just saw this one on exam 3 as well. So you do 3u minus 2v, so 3u would have been 12i minus 15j, 2v would have been negative 6i minus 4j. Subtract those so you have a negative distribute to the v, so they both end up being positive, so you're really quote-unquote adding. And then do Pythagorean theorem with the numbers you found. This one you had to do the little triangle thing, so draw a triangle that has an opposite of 11, adjacent of 6, do Pythagorean theorem to find the hypotenuse, and then do the cosine of that triangle. This is a 2 triangle problem because you have to draw alpha, you have to draw beta. So this, in quadrant 2, you draw a triangle with an adjacent of negative 7 and a hypotenuse of 11. Beta, over in quadrant 4, you draw an opposite of negative 3 and a hypotenuse of 17. Pythagorean theorem for both to find the missing side. And then just do the sine subtraction formula. Sine alpha cosine beta minus cosine alpha sine beta. 16, find the angle between them. This is that formula. This is a dot product formula. V dot W equals magnitude of V times magnitude of W times cosine theta. You have everything except theta, so you just plug everything in and divide it over. Hands of a clock at 3 o'clock. So if you're at, and the number changed depending on what you had in your problem randomized. But if you just think about where the clock is, it was always a 0, 0, so your minute is always at 0. And then for this problem, 3 o'clock would have been right here, like that. And then 90-degree angle, pi over 2. So graph the following vector, v plus w. So you just have to pay attention to how many spaces you go over. So take w and slide it over to where the beginning of w is at the end of v. And then you connect the beginning of v to the end of w. So just make sure w is going over by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And up 4. You just pick the correct one that does that. Okay, 19. I'd say 19 was one of the trickier ones, even though it was multiple choice, because you don't see an asymptote on 0, so it makes you think that it's oh, actually, hold on. Oh, it's because it's shifted over. Sorry. So it is going the correct direction for tangent, so you don't have a negative in front. So you had to pick between A and C. And then you just had to make sure you had the one with the correct shift. Remember, because it's periodic, shifting to the left too much is the same thing as shifting to the right, because it goes this way forever and ever and ever and ever. So hopefully you got the period down, right? Because from here to here, you end up with a period of pi still. Or you could have just plugged the coordinate points into all of them, see which one fits. And then finally for this one, you just add 2 pi a bunch until you get to 7 pi over 4. That was your final. Okay, I haven't put any of the grades in yet. I will be doing that as soon as I log off here. But dual credit, you're done. We have extra credit presentations today at 2 o'clock. That's the last thing I needed to talk about. Let's see if anyone actually hopped on here. Nope. So just remember, if you are one of the groups in the extra credit thing, you need to make sure you resubmit down on checkpoint number 5. Anything that you, any changes that you need to make, anything like that, whatever is in checkpoint 5 is going to be what I grade for your final rubric. So get that turned in. If you are part of this, I think we have about 16 groups between dual credit and pre-cal. 5-minute, I mean, it's not supposed to be that big of a deal. 5-minute presentation. Just share your PowerPoint and talk us through what you did. And then if you can't make it, I know there's a couple of people that said they couldn't make it. Yeah. You need to have a recording posted to checkpoint 5, or else you don't get a grade. Okay, I guess that's all for me today. I don't see anybody on, so I'm just gonna shut off this video. Good luck studying for AP tests. And yeah, dual credit if you don't watch any of my videos ever again. It was a pleasure teaching y'all this year. It was a lot of fun. It was a good group. Good job, y'all. Okay, see y'all later.